Plus, no Labor Day break for water department workers. We'll show you why it has been a marathon weekend for repair crews.
You're watching News 4 at noon in high definition.
Good Monday morning and happy Labor Day to all of you. I'm Laura Hettiger in for Robin Smith with a rare early edition of News 4 at 11. Now, we will be going back to the U.S. Open right after this newscast, but it's looking like a great day to celebrate Labor Day outside. Kent Earhart is in the Forewarned Weather Center with a look at how conditions are right now.
Laura, it started out great this morning. I'll have the temperature outlook for the rest of the week and the rain outlook as well coming up in my 7-day outlook.
Not as humid. Made it a perfect morning for this morning's annual Labor Day parade. The parade, it wound through the western edge of downtown St. Louis, wrapping up just a little bit ago. The parade features units from labor and union organizations. Labor Day has been a federal holiday since 1894. That's when Congress passed an act designating the first Monday in September for the observation. And of course, Labor Day marks the unofficial end of summer. Missouri Highway Patrol troopers are out in force on major interstates this holiday looking for reckless drivers. They tell us these increased patrols are to help drivers get to where they want to go safely. In Missouri, you can expect to see a trooper every 20 miles along Interstates 44, 64, and 70 as people come back home after their long Labor Day weekends. Now, this is no holiday for St. Louis City Water Department workers. They are clocking 16 hours a day as they try to repair busted water lines throughout St. Louis. This is what it looks like at 7th and Biddle. Water workers tell me heat, aging pipes, and kids playing with fire hydrants are to blame for the dozen breaks we've seen over the last few days. The good news, water dispatchers say all water has been turned back on. We're talking to Illinois State Police about a homicide investigation in the Metro East. According to state officials, several people opened fire on a 20-year-old outside a bar. Police identified that victim as Kenneth Richards of Cahokia. The shooting happened around 1 this morning in the 200 block of Collinsville Avenue in East St. Louis. Police are looking for a white 4-door GMC Yukon or Suburban that was last seen leaving that scene. Illinois officers are calling for extra help to find a prisoner that escaped in eastern Illinois. They're looking for this man, Jared Carter. They say he managed to escape corrections custody while doing supervised work at the Robinson Correctional Center. Authorities say he beat up a prison guard before taking off. Carter is serving time for burglary. State officials say they do not believe he's armed, but he may be dangerous. The Ride of the Century stunt riding motorcycle event held yesterday in and around St. Louis is being connected to 2 deaths. We are told both riders were part of the Ride of the Century group, but the accidents did not take place during the organized ride on Sunday. 32-year-old Michael Evans of St. Louis was killed Saturday evening when police say he clipped an unmarked police car while trying to pass on the right. Police say Evans was speeding. And in St. Charles, 25-year-old Justin Rowe of St. Charles was killed early Saturday morning when he ran into a car on Mid-Rivers Mall Drive. Police say Rowe ran a red light before hitting that car. The motorists in the other car were not injured. Governor Pat Quinn is making another plea to raise the minimum wage in Illinois. It's one of the ideas he's pushing as his re-election campaign picks up. The state's minimum wage increased to $8.25 an hour. That was back in 2010. Quinn, he wants to make it $10 an hour. Republicans and business leaders say if that happens, it would kill jobs. Both Illinois and Missouri have laws that allow drivers to show proof of insurance using their smartphones. But in Illinois, some departments are still trying to figure out how this new law will work. Here's the problem. Police take the paper documents and fill out the paperwork in their cars. Well, some drivers might think twice before giving their phone to a police officer. And then police say the phones could run out of battery or lock up while they are working on the report. Drug testing city workers is a growing trend in the Metro East, and now Belleville city leaders are debating whether all city workers and elected officials should do the same thing. Some city workers are already tested, and beginning next month, the police department will begin random drug testing. The mayor says research is being done to determine that cost. In New York, no arrests so far in the deadly shooting of a 1-year-old boy in Brooklyn. We're told Antique Hennis was in a stroller when he was shot in the head. This happened fairly early yesterday evening. Neighbors say this shooting has caught them all off guard.
Yeah, we were having a barbecue and we heard some bangs. We thought it was fireworks at first, but then someone was yelling that someone got shot.
Yeah, I just got here and I heard right here and I heard like 4 times, pow, 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 pow. I thought it was firecrackers. So I ran out there at the corner and I looked down and I saw the cop, and then some other people ran back up and they said it's a kid that shot.
A local bishop who drove the parents to the hospital says he's seen a lot in the neighborhood, but this is the worst. In international news, we are learning that the Taliban is taking responsibility for a strike on a U.S. base in Afghanistan near the Pakistan border. There were multiple explosions and a gunfight, but NATO confirms none of its members were killed by those suicide bombers. We're told that several U.S. military vehicles were torched. And in Washington, the Obama administration is working hard this holiday to convince members of Congress and really the world that Syria needs to be punished for allegedly using chemical weapons on civilians. CBS reporter Ko-Im has an update in this late report from Washington.
President Secretary of Defense Chuck Hagel is scheduled to testify. Ko-Im for CBS News, the White House.
Coming up on News 4, she's trying it again. Diana Nyad trying to swim from Cuba to Florida, and hey, it looks like this time she could make it. We'll have an update straight ahead. And later, researchers make what could be an important discovery for the best way to treat children with attention deficit disorder. And this tip, it has nothing to do with drugs. That and more straight ahead on this early edition of News 4 at noon. Less than 5 miles, that's all that separates U.S. endurance swimmer Diana Nyad from reaching her long sought-after goal of swimming from Cuba to Florida. Her team, riding in a boat alongside her, tweeted she could swim to shore in the Florida Keys by this afternoon. The 64-year-old is trying to become the first person to swim from Cuba to Florida without a shark cage. She already broke a record for distance swimming without a cage. And in Texas, Planned Parenthood is getting what would seem like a much-needed boost. The Perot Foundation, founded by billionaire and former presidential candidate Ross Perot, is donating $1 million to the women's health care provider. A number of Planned Parenthood clinics have been forced to close in Texas following the passage of tighter restrictions on abortions. And up next, American doctors say it's time for parents to start thinking about winter and the flu, and you know what that means, getting flu vaccines. We'll have the latest update on who should be getting them and when straight ahead. But first, let's take a look at today's fun fact. On this date in 1945, Japan officially surrendered in a ceremony aboard the USS Missouri warship. Our question: where was the Missouri when that surrender was signed? That answer coming up just a little bit later on this early edition of News 4 at noon.
You're watching News 4 in high definition.
News 4 always watches out for your health, and that's why we need to tell you the American Academy of Pediatrics recommends all children ages 6 months and older should get a flu shot as soon as the vaccine is available. The group says 2 vaccines will be used this year. One protects against 4 strains of the virus, the other protects against 3. AAP says a special effort should be made to vaccinate vulnerable groups, including children with chronic health conditions and pregnant women. A new study shows parents' goals matter when determining how to treat a child with ADHD. Researchers found parents who are concerned about improving their children's academic performance often choose medication-based treatment. Those more interested in improving their children's behavior and relationships choose behavior therapy. The study's authors say it's important that families are involved in the decision-making process with doctors.
Even it looks pretty dry. So I don't know what this is going to mean for the colors this fall. We'll have to wait and see if the trees are responding negatively to the drought.
But not much humidity today or tomorrow.
I mean, you know, the last day of summer, you want it to be nice. It would be nice to get rain, but we don't want to get it today.
Right.
Yeah.
So can we thank you for the beautiful weather?
I think you should.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right. Scientists with help from NASA say they found a new Grand Canyon in Greenland. The mega canyon was hidden under a massive sheet of ice. Scientists from the University of Bristol say it's 460 miles long. That's almost 200 miles longer than the Grand Canyon in Arizona. But the mega canyon isn't nearly as deep. Researchers think it's been hidden for 4 million years. And Kent and I will be right back with the answer to the fun fact. We're asking, where was the USS Missouri when Japan surrendered on this date in 1945? That answer is next, only on News 4. And time now to answer the fun fact.
And today, some World War II history with a little Missouri twist on it. On this date, 1945, Japan officially surrendered in a ceremony, of course, aboard the USS Missouri warship. So our question, where was the Missouri when the surrender was signed?
The Missouri was anchored in Tokyo Bay when the Japanese surrendered, officially ending World War II. That was on this date back in 1945. And Dragon Con is underway this weekend in Atlanta. Visitors dress as their favorite science fiction and fantasy characters. The event features panel discussions on time travel, roundtable talks about Star Trek, and seminars about horror makeup. The event, it ends today. Organizers estimate 55,000 people would attend this weekend.
If I didn't have to work today, I would have been there.
I would have been too.
Well, we could have gone together.
Ridden together.
Next year.
All right, thank you for spending this half hour with us. More of the U.S. Open is up next. We hope to see you back here for News 4 at 5.
Enjoy your Labor Day.